Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following week. My name, it's Colton Brown. You know it. You know this man as well. It's Andrew Meadows. How's it going?
I'm here well, not in the flesh, but I am here recording in the flesh in Florida. And
you are virtually 6 feet away from me, which is to say that you are virtually many miles away from me.
That's it. Practicing social distancing.
Sean Connery is a guest on this podcast, is he?
Apparently. Yeah, we're here to talk about an action movie today.
Yeah.
A Netflix action movie.
Just a straight-up action flick, you know? Almost a throwback of sorts, I'd say. Extraction is the name of the game here. Or I guess more accurately, the name of the movie, really. But, it's desperate times, desperate measures when it comes to film and television these days, with, unfortunately, coronavirus still very much impacting everyone's daily lives, keeping theaters shut down. So we have to turn to the likes of Netflix and streaming services to offer us their content so graciously so that we can have something to talk about. Otherwise, we'd just be twiddling our thumbs for quite some time.
Covering old things, maybe.
Yeah, of course. You know, there's always the backlog or Quibi. We know when things get really dire. I'm not going to let that joke die. I'm not going to let it die. So, yeah, how you been, man?
I'm doing good. What have I been up to? Well, we'll talk about what I've been up to, but I've been okay.
Okay.
I'm surviving the
not quite apocalypse, but
yeah,
almost
apocalypse. Right. Learning new things. I've been watching. We'll get into it. See, it's a false lead. I can't talk about what I've been up to, but I've been doing okay.
I didn't ask what you've been doing. I asked how you've been doing. I mean,
I think
there's a
good.
difference.
I've been doing good. I really can't complain a whole lot. I can't complain a whole lot. What
good.
about you? Can you complain?
Well, I'm almost done with the semester. I took my last exam today.
Nice.
So I might already be on my third beer in celebration of that fact, but I'm sure the slurriness will come through eventually. Well, they moved everything to pass-fail, so stakes are a bit lower. I think I passed.
What is pass-fail?
You passed or you didn't. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the threshold, the bar dropped pretty quickly, I think, when it came to that. So it's a lot of make sure you write something that's on topic and turn something in. And I think I went above that. It's not my finest work, I wouldn't admit, but I think under the circumstances, I'm happy with what I did, and I'm not going to complain about it.
It's a good year to get a law degree, it sounds like.
Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe not a good year. Maybe not a good year to get a law job, though. So I think that might be the unfortunate downside. But that's true of many other professions as well. So not exclusively related to the field of practicing law. But yeah, I have some papers to finish up, and then I will be done. But yeah, it's all winding down, which is nice. I'm looking forward to the summer and not having kind of something to worry about in the back of my head. I think that'll be certainly a nice thing to have going on in these times. So, yeah, I'm okay. Feeling pretty good right now, and I'll be feeling even better in just a few days' time. Now, in terms of Extraction, do you have any fun facts related to it?
I have a real light fun fact. All
right. I'll take light.
Yeah, it's a light fun fact. It's just more interesting than anything else, I think. So, Extraction... This was directed by, I had his name right here, Sam Hargrave. Yeah. Yep. Stuntman turned director. I think he was stuntman on Endgame and Captain America Civil War, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's worked with the Russo brothers in the past, and on this one as well.
Yeah, Atomic Blonde, our first episode, he did the action in that.
Right. I saw a picture of him on set when I was looking the man up earlier today. So yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so this is he's throwing it in, and his directorial debut, he went all in on a stitched together 12-minute one-shotter, or oneer as he's called it, a oneer. And it spanned over 15 to 20 pages of the script, and it was nonstop action. It was really cool, especially for his first go at a one-shotter. I thought he did a pretty good job of stitching everything together. It felt felt tight, and yeah, kudos to him, man. I mean, usually you don't start your career off with a was shooting a one shot kind of deal. It's a 12-minute high octane action sequence. Knife fights in the streets. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Oh yes, we will. It's I think overall a pretty, at least if nothing else, technically impressive feature film debut from Hargrave. You can tell he's obviously had some experience with choreography and framing action sequences as per his stunt background. So, that is basically
a
12-minute highlight of that.
Awesome stunt background. I mean, it's not like he's just some stunt man on fucking, like, I don't know, some lame, like, CSI Miami. I mean, he's on top tier fucking action sequences. Atomic Blonde was awesome. I mean, the Civil War. I mean, just excellent stuff. So, yeah,
totally. Definitely. All right, well, that's very cool. Like I said, we'll talk about that action sequence and then some in just a little bit of time. In terms of some news, we'll go ahead and start with, I guess, following the trend, I think, of what we did last episode, and I'm not sure the one before that, not that it matters, of talking about kind of the latest delays, or at least, as I'm framing it, some COVID-19 related news, which is largely delays. However, the first piece of news I will offer is not a delay. It is something that I think most people never saw coming. And it is a reunion of the Parks and Recreation cast for one more episode. Show ended, I think, including Nick Offerman, yes, of Devs, which we talked about on our last episode.
Go ahead. Finish.
Sorry. Andrew just gave me a hand. I was just like, "Oh shit, he's got some goodies to tell me."
I have a goodie, but I'll hold off until you finish your thought.
Okay. So what's going on with this? The show ended, I think 5 years ago, somewhere around there. 7 seasons that it ran for on NBC. Scripted ending, was a scheduled ending. Everything. I didn't finish. I watched, I think, the first 5 or 6 seasons. I think 5. Really enjoyed it. Want to go back and finish it sometime, but I heard it, it finished well. But again, it was kind of a planned ending, and this is very much kind of an unexpected reunion where they're going to do a half-hour scripted special in aid of COVID-19. It's going to bring back basically the entire cast, the entire principal cast from the sounds of it. Several guest stars from the original show expected to pop up as well. And I think it's, from what I understand, it's kind of like intended to be a in-universe thing where COVID-19 is also a thing. So, that way the format of the show will be basically everyone filming remotely and then kind of being edited together. But I think that there's probably going to be an end story kind of reason of, oh shit, coronavirus is a thing, so we can't actually get everyone in the same room to film this kind of thing. So it's kind of a neat idea to do it. Obviously not the first time a show has been revived, but I think it's kind of the first time something like this has happened where it's like, hey, this is a really shitty thing that's happening in the world. Why don't we do something really cool and bring together a bunch of super talented people? And honestly, in a way that, like, most of these people, it's kind of the Arrested Development problem where it got canceled, and then by the time they decided to bring it back, everyone was super fucking famous, and they couldn't get them in the same room for more than like 3 days at a time. So it kind of hamstrung the series a little bit. This is a good way. I mean, everyone's just literally going to be in their home because that's the way of life right now. So I don't know. I think it's really neat. I think it's set to air on April 30th, which has probably already elapsed by the time you're listening to this. I'm hoping that the episode will be up on that date, but we'll see. But either way, this will probably have already happened, so hopefully it turns out to be not a piece of shit, and hope everyone enjoys at least another extra 30 minutes with the cast of Parks and Recreation. So there you have it. Sorry for the delay, listeners. Andrew had some goodies he wanted to throw out.
Let me tell you something, okay? We're going to talk about it in the catching up section, as long as I remember to talk about it in the catching up section. Okay, I've been taking a deep dive of knowledge. I haven't purchased any tools yet, but been taking a liking since I did the shiplap wall. I've taken a liking to woodworking. Okay. And on my YouTube exploration of knowledge of woodworking and joinery and all the good things about woodworking, I stumbled upon the fact that Nick Offerman is an avid woodworker. He actually yes. He was on This Old House, which is like, I think, a PBS program. Woodworking, find woodworking magazines, this and that. Really, really, really cool deal. And I actually hopped onto it. And I don't know a lot about Nick Offerman other than I really enjoyed his performance in Devs. And outside of Devs, this dude is like a super, super down to earth fucking guy. He's totally awesome. You know, he's like, hey, I'm going to take you into my woodworking. I'm a pretty good woodworker. I've been woodworking for a long time. At certain points in my career, over half of my income has come from woodworking. But in no means is my shop supported. I've got a lot of things in my shop that I'm very blessed to have, that my career has allowed me to purchase outside of paying for it with my saws, which is pretty cool. He's just a humble dude. He's handmade a canoe. He's got a fucking handmade canoe in there. He has all these. He's just, I don't know. He's just a really fascinating guy. Anyways, I digress. Really nice guy, it seems like.
Yeah, he's definitely a cool guy. They did incorporate kind of the woodworking aspects of Nick Offerman's personality into the Ron Swanson character for Parks and Rec.
Did they really?
It does come up at least once. I don't think it's like a huge thing, but I definitely remember it coming up.
I never saw the show. I might have to watch that. I really
this is
enjoy
also
it.
It's a great show. I think it's on Netflix, but I could be wrong. I think the whole series is on. It's streaming somewhere, so it's a great show. The first season's its weakest, but it's also the shortest. And it, like season 2, it like really hits its stride. And as far as I know, it stuck the landing. I will eventually find out, as I said. But I was just going to say, on another kind of sort of side tangent, I saw Nick Offerman in person back when I lived in Gainesville.
For real?
He just came to UF campus and was doing like a free event for students and stuff like that, and it was cool. He kind of talked to us a little bit, and then I think he had a guitar, and he'd do a few songs and stuff like that. It was just cool. It was just kind of a performance of sorts, but it was a fun thing, and that was kind of while Parks and Rec was airing, so it was really neat.
Yeah, it just seems like a cool dude. Anyways,
he's a cool dude, great actor. Nick Offerman is awesome. Go watch Devs. Go listen to our episode if you haven't already. And there you have it. Now, in terms of other COVID-19 related news, delays. So first up, Mission Impossible. We know that 2 sequels are coming. They're going to be, I believe, filming consecutively. However, they are both going to be arriving a little bit later than originally anticipated. Chris McQuarrie back in the director's chair after directing both 5 and 6. Fortunately, the delay on both of these isn't going to be more than a few months, at least as of now. So Mission Impossible 7 was originally set to hit theaters July of 2021, and now it's being bumped back to November of 2021, so about a year and a half on that one. And then the 8th entry is going to follow the next the November following that, so November 2022, bumped back from an August 2022 release date. So again, for each one, only a few months more or less. But yeah, I guess I guess it had already started shooting, but again, I think it's an extended shoot because I think they're trying to film both of them basically back to back. So obviously, with filming not happening or really anything happening on that front, then obviously delays are to be expected. What's Tom Cruise going to get up to in this latest movie? Who's to say? I saw a joke about him braving the stupid people protesting the stores being shut down and everything by gathering in masses and infecting each other. But I think even Xenu wouldn't condones that sort of behavior, so probably not.
I thought he was going to go like in space, Mission Impossible in space.
No, that's Fast and Furious. That's obviously, I mean, one of these one of these franchises is heading in the most ludicrous direction possible, and that's the Fast and Furious franchise, aka the Hobbs and Shaw franchise. And I think Mission Impossible, it's got reloading fists. What else happened in Fallout? I need to watch it again. I really do want to watch it again.
Fallout? We'll talk about it.
Oh, did you rewatched it recently?
I watched it like 4 days ago.
Oh, nice. Okay, well then we'll refresh our memories on the Mission Impossible Fallout action a little bit later then. The other delay, I guess a few delays here. Sony is delaying some Spider-Man sequels. So the third Tom Holland Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Staying at Home, whatever it's going to be called, is going to be hitting theater. Not my joke. I wouldn't say. I can't stake a claim to that, unfortunately. But it's going to be hitting theaters on November of 2021, which I think might put it on exactly the same date as Mission Impossible, or at least a week apart, maybe. It's being bumped back from an original July expected release date. So that's unfortunate. It also put it basically a week and a half away from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And Marvel Studios obviously doesn't want two of their movies to be playing within 2 weeks of each other. So Doctor Strange 2 has now been bumped back to March of 2022. So waiting even longer on Doctor Strange.
Jesus Christ.
Waiting even longer. Now, one side benefit of this is that Thor: Love and Thunder has been bumped forward 1 week.
Yeah, fucking Thor. Leave it to Thor.
So we'll be getting that one in February of 2022, early February as opposed to early to mid-February. And last but not least, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse's sequel is moving from April of 2022 to October of 2022. So same year for most of these, but just a few months delays, and hopefully it stays at that. Knock on wood. So unfortunate, but
they have to.
Again,
it has to
expected.
Somewhere the bleeding has to stop. I mean, they're gonna
at some point. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully. So now in terms of news, we have a couple trailers we can talk about at the top. Both Netflix entries. One is a movie, one is a TV show. We'll talk about the movie first. This was originally set to hit theaters, I think, this month per Paramount, but they sold the rights to this, and Netflix is now going to be exclusively streaming The Lovebirds on May 22nd, starring Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani. What did you think about this trailer?
This trailer made me laugh a lot. I thought this shit was funny.
Yeah, I think I've seen the trailer at least once or twice, kind of in theaters, when theaters were a thing.
Theaters?
And yeah, it's like you'd sit and there was like a big screen. It's similar to like kind of what your living room setup is, but like even bigger if you could imagine it. And the black is really black, especially if you see it in Dolby Cinema. And there's a man that spits fire before.
Holy shit! It sounds like the place to be. They have snacks though. Got snacks right around the corner.
They do sell snacks, but they're typically very expensive. They're only for the bougiest of the bougie to purchase. But very, very, very nice buttered popcorn.
Sounds like a fucking nice place to be.
Yeah, sometimes there's annoying kids that run around and say stupid shit while the movie's playing, though. So it has its drawbacks every so often.
But, everything's got a drawback.
But May 22nd, you can experience The Lovebirds in the comfort of your own home. Sounds like this is one you might be looking forward to then?
Yeah, I'm down on that. I'd watch that movie. That looks pretty fun.
Okay. I figure this is potential for us to cover towards the end of May. Again, given the dearth of content. Movie is nice and digestible, probably less than 2 hours long.
Comedy?
Charming cast. Comedy. Yeah, we don't do comedies, I feel like, all that often. So, this looks like it could be a good one. And it looks like it's kind of got some other genres kind of rolled into it a little bit too. Obviously it's a very comedic kind of template to all of it, but it looks like there's a little bit, it's like a murder mystery kind of thing that it is, trying to do.
It almost seemed like a Fun with Dick and Jane with Jim Carrey. It almost seemed like Fun with Dick and Jane, just slightly different spin. It kind of seemed like, anyways.
Yeah, I can see that. May 22nd, maybe that's one we'll put up on our schedule and check out. Other trailer is a limited series from the always hardworking Ryan Murphy, coming to Netflix on May 1st, called Hollywood.
Who is
Ryan Murphy? Any thoughts on this trailer? Ryan Murphy is the man behind the likes of Nip Tuck, Glee, and a little bit more recently, the American Horror Stories and American Crime Story. He's a very, very prolific TV writer, showrunner, producer.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he's I swear he's always got like 9 projects lined up. He's kind of the Greg Berlanti type, where I have 19,000 DC shows on the CW. How do I find time for any of this shit? I don't know. Pose is another one I think that was on FX that he worked on too, which I've heard is very good. Scream Queens, Fox, another one. Man's just in everything. But yeah, You watched this trailer? Any thoughts?
I thought it looked good. It did look a little. It just looked a little loud. You know what I mean? Just very
sure.
It doesn't leave enough. It doesn't leave devs allowed you to unpack things. This is definitely not in that way. This is a very social, loud thing. Which
flashy, in your face. Absolutely.
This is the problem.
That's totally fair.
Yeah. So there's a spot and a place for that type of stuff. So I don't. It's not that I don't condone that stuff being made, but my personal taste, I prefer something a little bit more nuanced, if you will.
Yeah, I could see that. So I think that. I think that's totally legitimate. It looks flashy, it looks colorful, and that's just obviously by design. So it's going to be kind of a take it or leave it situation where it's either to your taste or perhaps not to your taste.
I will give it. It does look well enough made to where I might be interested in. It's a show, correct?
It is. I don't remember if I said earlier. I think it's only 5 episodes. It's a limited series, so it's hopefully a little bit more digestible by virtue of that. I don't know. I mean,
it might be something worth trying the first episode on and seeing if it grips. And
and this is right around the corner too. I think only a few days wait from when we're recording, and by the time this is up again, it's probably another one that is probably already up on Netflix by the time you're listening to this. So, might
give it a shot. I don't know.
Maybe give it a look. We I don't even know what we're.
Lack of content, we might be covering it. I don't know.
Right. It's like, I don't know. If it grips us, then maybe it's something that we look at doing. I don't know. It's hard to commit to anything. The trailer, I think, was a well put together trailer. Sure. It looks interesting enough that I'm willing to, probably like you, give it an episode and see if it's for me or not. But I guess to be determined, if nothing else. And if you watch the trailer and you know that it's absolutely going to be your shit, then like I said, you don't have very much time to wait for it. So that's good. It's good. Moving on. Some news. A couple things going on the HBO playing field. Westworld. Westworld has been renewed for a 4th season by HBO.
Nice. Is that over yet?
It is almost over. I think it has one more episode to air in its 3rd season. I think this upcoming Sunday. So I think the 3rd of May is when it should wrap up with the 3rd season. Okay. Have you been following along at all? Watched any of it?
I think I'm 2 or 3 episodes in.
Okay, I'm 2 episodes in, so we're probably pretty close to each other.
Yeah, we might be able to wrap that up for an episode. That's probably something worth covering. We've covered the other 2 episodes, haven't we?
We haven't, but we've talked about it throughout the podcast. So it's another one like Castlevania where, we could probably do a quick recap on the first couple seasons, our thoughts on it, and kind of move forward into the new stuff.
Gotcha.
I think that's definitely another potential. I've liked what I've seen so far of season 3. Obviously, it's a little bit of a reframing of the show compared to what it was in the first couple seasons. It sounds like they're planning it to be 6 seasons in total.
Oh wow!
So this seems like I had no idea. I thought this was like I almost thought season 3 might even be the end, just because the way that season 2 ended. I was just like, I don't know where you can go with this show that's 4 seasons, but I don't know. I guess in Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan we trust. I don't know, but
I trust Jonathan Nolan with a bunch of shit. He's a pretty good writer.
Yeah. So it's good. It's obviously kind of, I don't know. Maybe is it HBO's premiere show now? Maybe that's Big Little Lies. I'm not sure, but at least in terms of, I think, our interest levels,
that's right.
I think Westworld's that's kind of the big one for us, right? Now that Game of Thrones has come and gone.
Oh my God! I got to tell you about my dream. Fuck, you brought it up.
No!
I had a dream. I swear to God, last night. I swear to God, I don't know where this dream came from. Okay, I dreamt that I was in Blue Ridge. And I was at a restaurant, and a drunk actor, Jamie Lannister, Nicola, whatever his name is.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Yes. He came to me, and he said, I know you've become a handyman. I follow you on the Facebook. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's cool, dude. That's cool. He said, no, you don't understand. I need you to forge me a weapon. I said, fuck, I don't know how to forge you a weapon. He says, no, I need you to forge... It was so fucking vivid. Okay, that's the only reason I remember it. He said, "I want it to have the blade of Longclaw and I can't remember he said some sort of wood. I can't remember, and he wanted this thing engraved at the bottom. And he says, I want you to forge me this weapon." So I go, and I fucking learn how to forge a sword. I forge this dude a sword. And he comes back and puts it in a scabbard in his back. And he says, "I'm going to show fucking Benioff and Wise what the fuck is going on." And he fucking scabbarded his sword, and that's when I woke up. I swear to God, that was my dream. Jamie Lannister was going to go fucking kill the guys that wrote the show. That was my fucking dream. I don't know where it come from. I don't know why. But I woke up with a smile on my face. I thought that was... Anyways.
Good on you, Nikolai. We support you.
He was totally... Like, it was almost like his... Like... He was the Kingslayer in my dream. Like, he was... Like... He had dived down such a deep hole because of the way the show ended. He just went full blown Jamie Lannister and was gonna, do what he needed to do. I guess I don't know why I dreamt that, but that's what happened. Anyways,
yeah, that's funny. So Westworld, getting a fourth season. So yeah, maybe we'll check in on season 3 when it finishes up. That's certainly an option. Other things in HBO world, Hellraiser is getting its own series.
Okay.
How about that?
The box. You opened it. We came.
As long as there's puzzle boxes. I love
puzzle boxes, Cenobites. Better see some weird ass shit
like
in this.
Hooks and skin flayed open, and like that big fat guy walking around with his eyeballs peeled open, all sorts of crazy stuff. You think they're gonna go? Yep. Yeah. You think they're gonna like? How does that show progress? You think?
I don't know. It's that is kind of an interesting question because like the first I guess it's an interesting question in some ways because the first Hellraiser is a pretty short, tight, self-contained film.
Yeah, it's pretty neat too. I like it.
And then there's 84 sequels to it. So clearly there are directions, but I assume that the Hellraiser sequels are largely just the same thing over and over and over again. But I actually don't know that for a fact. I haven't seen them all. I think most of them are supposed to be pretty crap, from what I understand.
Yeah, no, the first one's cool though.
Pretty traditional for horror movies. But yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Yeah, how do you do Hellraiser for seasons upon seasons?
I don't know.
What I mean? Like,
I don't know enough. I remember watching the first one. It's been a very long time since I've seen the first one. And I remember liking it quite a bit. I thought it was really interesting. And then I can't remember. I don't know if I went directly to 2 or I went to direct to DVD Hellraiser, because I know they have a few of those. And I saw one of those and it was complete shit. But I think that I don't know. I don't know how you do it. Do you do like an episode where they find the box and the box takes over, like they get possessed by the box and they have to figure it out, and then once they finally open it, that's the end of the season. That's their... I don't know. You could do something like that.
I truly don't know. I guess we'll leave it in more capable hands to figure this shit out.
That's what I would do. Like a Jumanji situation, they find the box, and the box speaks to them, and they just feel compelled to open the box, and they do what they need to do to get it open. And once they open it, season finale, they open the shit. Cat's out of the bag. Hellraiser takes them in with a pinhead and all the torture, and then they torture the shit out of them. That's it.
Yeah. But then, what? Like, I mean, if that's an 8-episode season, is that 7 episodes of them just being lured by the box? Like,
maybe they murder people. Like maybe they get they just get they just get all fucked up, and I don't know. I guess we'll see. According to the Variety article, the prospective series will not be a reboot of Hellraiser, but rather, quote unquote, an elevated continuation and expansion of its mythology. Ooh, I don't know then.
So.
Definitely.
I don't know what that means.
HBO picks Gordon Green.
Though. Yeah. I mean, yeah, right. HBO usually means quality. David Gordon Green, who recently directed the Halloween sequel, and its upcoming 2 sequels, is going to direct several episodes of this. So yeah, I don't know. I guess he had success with one horror franchise recently, and hopefully we'll have more success with it in the next few years. And
he's the golden boy for
now,
horror movie remakes.
Yeah, which is just so odd because this is like,
it's not the quintessential 80s horror movie remake you think would be being made. You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's that, but it's also just like, this is the guy that did Pineapple Express. Like he started with that kind of movie, and then like for him to be like the it guy for horror stuff just seems kind of bizarre. Eastbound and Down. He's done a lot of stuff with HBO, so it kind of makes sense from that standpoint. But yeah, I don't know. Just an odd kind of sort of marriage.
So
I think,
another fun fact. I know I'm off on tangents tonight. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're having fun.
I googled Hellraiser, and then I've got the Wikipedia. Below that, people also ask. First one, is Hellraiser based on a true story?
Yes. The answer is yes, obviously.
Fuck. I certainly hope not. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, that's all I have on the Hellraiser front. I have a lot of Star Wars things we can talk about. You want to talk about some Star Wars things?
Always, yeah, definitely.
All right, I think probably the biggest piece of news, another series is in the works. A live-action series that is going to be coming to Disney Plus at some point in the future, courtesy of Leslie Headland, who is the co-creator, showrunner, and executive producer of the critically acclaimed Netflix series Russian Doll, which I don't think either of us have seen, so it's hard for us to weigh in too much on her cred from our standpoint. But in terms of what this series is going to be, well, your guess is as good as mine, other than the fact that it will be a female-centric series that takes place in a different part of the Star Wars timeline than other projects. So, yet another case of Lucasfilm just, here's more Star Wars. We'll get around to it at some point. I feel like there's like 19 projects of just being like, yeah, we're going to make this movie. We hired a writer. We're going to make it. Rian Johnson's going to make 3 movies. Game of Thrones guys are going to make 6 movies. It's a lot of shit being thrown at the wall. That said, if there is a little bit of fire with the smoke here, kind of interesting. It sounds like maybe they're moving away from an original trilogy timeline. Mandalorian's kind of more or less got that covered. Sounds like Cassian Andor will have that covered. We'll talk about that in just a minute too. Female-centric, that's good. Obviously, we've had a lot of female protagonists in some of the more recent Star Wars content, but I say more the merrier. I think really just the different part of the Star Wars timeline is the most exciting thing for me.
Yeah, totally agree.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if this will be the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to tie this in to the High Republic stuff that they want to do with all the comics.
That
and
makes
books and
sense.
stuff like that.
There seems like
I think that would
making
be
a pretty strong push for it. So
I just think having a synergy beyond just especially now, when everything is so connected, when you have Clone Wars characters that pop up in the show or in the movies rather, and vice versa. Like I just think like Lucasfilm particularly is kind of at the forefront of like really trying to keep everything integrated, and within the canon. And I think that would be a really great opportunity to kind of do that in a way that expands your audience beyond just the hardcore Star Wars fans, who I think for the most part are the ones that are going to read those books and comics. I don't know how much of the general audience you hit with that if you don't do a movie or a TV show kind of in the same vein. So right. I don't know, just my 2 cents. Surely many years away, but cool nonetheless, I would say. In terms of Cassian Andor, we have some casting that has been announced for the show. Obviously, Diego Luna is reprising his role as Cassian. I believe Alan Tudyk is supposed to come back as K2, but I don't know that for a fact.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
They actually previously announced, and I don't think that we talked about it, Stellan Skarsgård will be part of the show.
Oh, yeah.
So that's obviously pretty great. And in addition, Genevieve O'Reilly is going to reprise her role from Rogue One as Mon Mothma. So that's good. Cool. Those are kind of the 2 most recognizable names, admittedly. Denise Goff and Kyle Soller also joining. Not familiar with either of their work. No real details on who they're going to play, but they're in it nonetheless. Tony Gilroy, who co-wrote Rogue One, is going to write, direct, and serve as the showrunner for the series. Takes place 5 years before the events of Rogue One. Understandably, it doesn't take place 5 years after. Spoilers. It's cool. No release date on this one, but it's up on Disney Plus in 4K. So I'm curious to revisit it at some point.
I used it as a demo on the audio visual demo, the end of it there, to try to dial in everything in with Vader.
Yeah, such a cool scene. I've watched that on YouTube since, many times. So chills. What else? Star Wars Day is coming up. I think that this will probably, this will be the episode that'll go up before Star Wars Day, which will be Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Yeah, you get it. Everyone gets it. And Lucasfilm's rolling out some goodies for May 4th. So Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is going to be streaming on Disney Plus as of May 4th. So anyone that wants to revisit, that's the way to do it. I feel so bad, man. I don't feel bad. I don't actually feel bad, but it just sucks. It's just a bad feeling. I didn't buy The Rise of Skywalker day one. You know what I mean?
No, I don't blame you.
It's not that I hate it. I don't hate it, but I just don't love it. And it really sucks. Because kind of sucks the excitement out of it a little bit. And I have eight of 9 Skywalker saga movies collected, and they have the big nice Skywalker saga thing out, and I'm like, it's like $200. Yeah, whatever.
It's kind of $200, and it kind of ended on it didn't end on a fart, but it kind of ended on a little fart.
It was close. It's just I don't know. But either way, Disney Plus I think is a good home. Maybe I'll
certainly stream it.
Yeah, I'll stream it. That's not
and top quality stream too. You get 4K. I mean, you get the Atmos. I mean, it's compressed, but it'll be a good experience.
I think the thing is, I'll be content to stream it until it goes on a good sale on 4K.
Absolutely.
Then maybe I'll buy it.
Correct.
I'll buy it for $15. But I'm not going to spend 25. Well, 15.
Oh, on that one particular movie, not the whole box set.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the box set, it'd have to be a pretty deep discount in general. That's just
half
so
off.
Much, especially when I own, basically all of them anyway.
I don't know all of them in 4K though. I'd like to own them in 4K.
That's true. I think I only own The Last Jedi in 4K, so yeah, that would be a big upgrade for all of them. But I don't know. Anyway,
money's a thing.
Also, May 4th, the final episode ever of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Fuck.
I've heard it's been amazing this season. I heard this last episode was the dopest shit ever.
Bonkers. They're doing another episode?
There's...
I thought that was the end.
No. There's the last one will be on the 4th. So
oh, shit.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, man, that makes me so excited. I thought that was it. I thought it was over.
Nope.
Oh, man. Nope. Oh, dude, you got to get on the train quick.
I am sort of on the train. I am in season 5. So I finished season 4, which was the Maul... resurrection arc, basically.
Oh, it's so badass when he's in he's got the spider legs. He's lost his mind. Oh, it's so good.
Watched all that. And I'm in season 5. I finished the first arc, which I think was 3 or 4 episodes, and that was the introduction of Saw Gerrera. Speaking of Rogue One, so
yeah, man, good stuff.
So I'm getting into it big time, man. I'm pretty excited, but I still have 15 episodes in a season, plus another 10, 13 from season 6, plus all the new ones. I got a lot of ways to go, but they're short bite-sized episodes, so it's not too much. It's just, I got to find the time. I'll have time in a few days.
Sarah's dad tried to get into praise it because there's some really fucking awesome arcs. And I think he started at season 1. And I didn't really give him any advice on viewing or anything else.
Yeah.
But there's massive. I feel like there's massive ebbs and flows to the show. Every episode's pretty. It's okay. Yeah. But there's three episode arcs that are just fucking awesome. And I really feel like they're buried in the later portions of the seasons. And it just makes it.
I mean, early on, it's plainly a kids show that's kind of designed for a certain audience, and it kind of matures as the seasons progress. And as Ahsoka, almost as a character, kind of grows up. Then it kind of matures a little bit, and it gets a little bit more intense. like there's seriously some episodes in there, and I'm just like, is this even a kids show anymore? Like, and arguably it's not at times. But
especially with that mall arc. That mall arc is intense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
totally there's a lot of good at it.
Yeah.
I think I will. I know I made promises about Star Wars Rebels once upon a time, but I really do feel like I'm committed to getting through Clone Wars, getting through it.
Well, you're really close.
And yeah, exactly. And I feel like I'm gaining momentum. Like I really feel kind of energized by the Maul arc, by the Andor stuff with Saw Gerrera. Like I just feel like it almost feels like it's hitting its stride, because it's in those later seasons. And I've heard good things about the new season, and obviously it's new for everyone, really. So it's just kind of cool to kind of be able to experience that sort of revival more or less kind of with other people. Obviously, by the time I watch it, everything will be out and everyone will have seen it, but it'll still be new. So I think that's another one that, time permitting, and hopefully I can get through it in a reasonable span of time. I think it'd be a fun one to cover for the podcast.
Fuck, that's
too.
a lot of content. Oh my goodness.
Well, I just mean more the new season.
Okay, yeah, the new season's cool.
Yeah, I think that's doable. Because I don't think you've seen any of the other stuff in years, so it'd be kind of silly to me.
That'd be rough. That'd be rough
to expect you to do anything like that. But I think we could definitely again do the new season and just talk about the show more broadly
as a whole. Yeah,
which we kind of just did already, but we could do it a little bit more. In a little bit more depth anyway. So yeah. One last thing, just a little bonus Star Wars news for you in case you hadn't seen this. I wasn't sure if you'd seen it. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer getting ported to the Nintendo Switch May 12th.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
The fucking pod racing show? Or the pod racing game?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pod racing game, man. That's cool. It's really cool.
I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah, I don't know if they've set a price on it, but like Jedi Outcast 2 was only like $10, and I think Jedi Academy is up now. I haven't gotten it yet, but I think it's 15 or 20.
Jedi Outcast
so this will probably like, yeah, Jedi Outcast is on Switch. I have it. It's a pretty solid port, and Jedi Academy is as well, which I haven't got it yet, but I'm waiting for a sale on it. And, this is one that'll probably be.
Go ahead.
Nothing will beat the. You talking about the Racer or Jedi Outcast?
I was going to say Jedi Outcast. Like, you can buy Jedi Outcast on the Switch, and that's all great and dandy, but you can't put fucking Gundams in it.
Well, that's true, yeah. There's no modding. There's no modding. There's also no online play for Jedi Outcast, but there is online play for Jedi Academy. But either way, Episode 1 Racer, it's cool, Haven't played that game in
I played the shit out of that game on Nintendo. I think it was Nintendo 64.
Yeah, 64, I think PlayStation 1.
You know what they really need to port? They need to port the fucking PlayStation Starfighter games. Remember those?
Yeah.
Those were so awesome.
You know what? I would kill for is a Rogue Squadron HD remaster.
Yeah. An HD remaster?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine that shit?
So good.
I mean, I'll take a straight port, don't get me wrong, but if they put the 64 and the GameCube ones in like one package and up-res them.
Ridiculous. Such good games.
That'd be good.
Back when
Lucas
Arts made fucking video games.
Yeah, the good old days before evil EA took over. Although I have something to talk about a little bit later that, I guess EA sort of had some involvement in that maybe ain't half bad, but
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Let's talk about Extraction now. 2020 American action thriller film. On Netflix, exclusively on Netflix, a Netflix film written by Joe Russo, one half of the Russo brothers of Avengers and Captain America fame, directed by stuntman extraordinaire turned director Sam Hargrave, stars Chris Hemsworth. Bear with me on some of these names. Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. Never seen you struggle with the names.
Fuck. Rutrashk Jaiswal, Randeep Huda, Gulshifte Farahani, Priyanshu Painyuli, and David Harbour. I do know that last one.
David Harbour.
I've heard that one before.
Nice.
Yeah, we got to get the other white guy in here. Tyler Rake, a fearless black market mercenary, embarks on the most deadly extraction. Look, it's the title of his career when he's enlisted to rescue the kidnapped son of an imprisoned international crime lord. This dropped on Netflix only a few days ago. I think you saw it over the weekend, so it's been a few days for you. If I
that's
not
correct.
mistaken. What'd you think?
Let me tell you something, dude. First off, I would not describe Tyler Rake as fearless, as part of the conversation between him and a young man that he's saving or extracting, I should say. However, I will say that I think that this movie is, if you've seen Man on Fire starring Denzel Washington. If you've seen, I don't know, that was the first one that came to mind. But anyways, movies where you save a small child from a bad situation. I think there's a number of them. You have a badass person with a person that is very vulnerable. I think you've seen this movie. I think it's a typical movie as far as the story beats. However, Chris Hemsworth does kick a considerable amount of ass. Especially when he's kicking the ass of young children who may be misled. I could not help but laugh at that. I laughed a whole bunch at that. There is the ass kicking of there is a badass person kicking the ass of some younger children. I feel bad for laughing, but he did not kill them. It's
pretty funny.
He just whooped up on him a little bit. It's a thoroughly entertaining movie. Thoroughly entertaining. I had a very good time watching this movie. It is tense throughout. It's nonstop action. It's well shot. I think it's I tell you, I enjoyed the difference in I don't know how to word this well. I enjoyed the variance in the actors. Like, you don't see a lot of these people on film. Like, I've never seen any of these people in film.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that
David Harbour and Chris Hemsworth, but there's a lot of Indian actors in this, and
yeah,
I think
I was going to
totally
say,
awesome.
I assume most of the actors in it are Indian actors who have been in Hindi films. For the most part, really haven't had any sort of major presence in Hollywood. Yeah, you got the two white guys, and then you have basically everyone else who, for American audiences, are going to be
whatever.
Pretty much unknown, right?
Yeah, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. They brought some really good performances to the table. It was, I think it was a pretty film. It was shot well, very kinetic.
Yeah,
the action, you could tell a stunt coordinator was behind the camera because the shit really kind of shone through. Interesting action too. I mean, it's not like it was. I mean, there's action movies, and then there's John Wick's, there's The Raid, there's Civil War. You know what I mean? There's things that kind of leapfrog the genre of action and the way things are choreographed and the way things are shot to kind of transcend the medium of film, and you can kind of feel the action, which is really what I felt. I really felt like I don't know. It's a very kinetic, awesome movie. Like when somebody got fucking hurt, somebody got punched by Chris Hemsworth, it's like, fuck, oof, Chris, you hit him a little hard. Ooh, you should have kicked him in the back or shoved his head through a rake. There's just
a Tyler Rake.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was an awesome Netflix movie. This is a movie that I would consider going to see in the movie theater. This movie was in the movie theater. I would have gone and seen it in the movie theater, and I would have been pretty happy with it. So to catch that shit on Netflix in the middle of quarantine, no brainer. Real good. Hats off to you, Netflix. You did a good job.
Yeah, I gotta say, I felt like the trailer kind of showed some interesting choreography and filmmaking. When we talked about it maybe only a few weeks ago, but I wasn't overly excited about this one.
Yeah, I thought it seemed samey. I think that's
exactly. And I think that I'll say up front, the story is absolutely the weakest part of this film.
Yeah,
it's so generic. It's so generic. Chris Hemsworth plays a super generic dude. It's the same character you've seen in every movie like this ever made. The bad guy is, every bad guy ever that's ever been bad. It's there's nothing really original.
Cardboard cut out of an action movie. Yeah.
And most of the characters are pretty one-dimensional. I think Chris Hemsworth included, character-wise. I'm not criticizing acting at all.
Yeah.
I think just character-wise, there's just not a lot to any of these characters. It's just super generic. It's definitely got some serious white savior tropes going on of, you got to get the white guy in there to save everyone from all the brown people.
He's fucking Australian. He's not like a American.
It's true, I guess. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But and I think that's absolutely valid to put that out there as a criticism. However, this movie still works in spite of all that, in spite of it being generic, in spite of it being tropey, and in obvious ways. It's just a tightly made film that obviously knows that its story is not its strong suit, and so it leans into what it knows is going to work, and what is going to work is the action. I mean, it's a throwback movie of sorts, I think, to almost sort of 80s movies of just being like just hard-boiled action flick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're just here to kick ass.
No frills, no fucks given kind of thing, and it's violent. No holds barred for really most of its runtime, and in spite of the fact that everyone's a cardboard cutout for the most part, it still works. And I think that's owing to Sam Hargrave's kind of work behind the camera, because it's kinetic is a great word, I think, to describe the action in this movie. It is very kinetic. It is close to John Wick-esque at times. I think in terms of just the choreography, the gunplay is kind of similar feeling. It's visceral. It's very in the moment. I will say, courtesy of Netflix putting things up in 4K and having a home surround sound set up, like it plays well in that medium. I think it would be true if you saw this in a theater, it'd be even more impactful because of the way it was shot. But it still works at home. I think that I don't know. I was surprised because I was a little ambivalent walking in, and I was expecting generic, and I did get generic for good parts of it.
You didn't get generic,
but honestly,
movie making though. That's the difference.
But exactly, and I think that's what keeps it a cut above kind of what you're saying. Your regular kind of action movie that you get, where it's clear that you're gonna get the story anywhere you turn, but there's still something else kind of tacked onto this, which I think, I don't even say the story is arguably what's tacked onto this. It's really just kind of a medium for the filmmakers to just kind of have fun shooting these action sequences in kind of creative and interesting ways. The 12-minute one take being kind of the obvious example of that. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about the substance of that and spoilers, but it's a cool fucking, it's cut between a car chase, maybe like a regular kind of chase, and then like a hand-to-hand combat, and it there's a lot going on in that one take. It's not just a hallway fight, you know what I mean? And that's not to diminish any hallway fights from Daredevil or anything like that, but it's almost closer to like the True Detective season 1 thing, where there's just a lot of stuff going on, and the cuts, 1917 style are obvious if you look for them, but it doesn't take away from it.
Yeah, right.
It always has that forward momentum as a result of that. And even when it's not part of the oneer, all the action is still really well shot. I'm so glad we're over this era of Jason Bourne style filmmaking, shaky cam bullshit. You know what I mean? Quick cuts
and the worst.
This is clearly choreographed and shot. It doesn't look fake. You know what I mean? It's you see what's happening, and you see it as it happens, and it makes sense. It doesn't feel like, it's not like a kind of thing where it's overly choreographed, where he's fighting 8 guys at once, and so he fights one guy at once, and the other 6 guys or 7 guys are waiting around in the background for their turn. I'm going to come in and get my punch. Oh, I got hit. Let me fall to the side 5 feet away so that he can fight the other guy, and then I'll come back into the frame. It really doesn't feel like that, and it's effective as a result of that. So, I was happy. It's not the best movie ever made, but certainly I think under the circumstances, if you're really looking for something to scratch that close to John Wick type itch, I think this might be the ticket. I still like John Wick's better. I think the John Wick story is,
well, sure. It's
the John Wick world
is
interesting. It's John Wick just has an interesting lore about it, even though it's a simple premise, at least in one, and then it builds up from that with the sequels. It's still I think better than this. But yeah, for what this is, just kind of an out of nowhere thing, I enjoyed it. And what I did enjoy was, in spite of characters being nothing, Hemsworth was great. I thought he was really good. Very generic backstory, generic type character, dude bro, kind of mercenary, but He was good. He was good. You know, he added the right amount of pathos to it. And I tell you who I really fucking liked was the guy that played the guy that worked for the kid's father.
The Indian
Randy
Special Forces
Puda.
guy.
Yeah, Saju is the character's name. Randy Puda is the actor's name.
He was a badass, dude.
He was great, and I didn't expect it. Like he kind of shows up in the beginning, and I didn't think he was going to be a big player in the movie, and then he was, and I was just like, this dude's cool. Like I like this dude a lot.
Who else is cool too is the Indian bitch that shoots the rocket.
Yeah, she was cool. Mm-hmm.
She's got the glasses. She's just a hardened badass. And she comes over to Chris Hemsworth and says, "Listen, you're fucked up when you come on my helicopter. You don't even bother coming. I'm leaving without you. I'll just do it myself." She's got the team.
Fuck you, Jobu.
Yeah, badass lady. What's her name?
Golshifta Farahani. She's Iranian, apparently.
Is she?
So,
well, I thought she was pretty cool.
Yeah, she was good. Cast was good. I think across the board. The kid was good too. You know, kid wasn't annoying. The kids that Hemsworth beats up at one point were also good at getting beat up, and that was indeed hilarious. And David Harbour shows up for a bit and does his thing, which is always appreciated too. So, I enjoyed it. You know, I can levy some complaints, but all in all, I'm content to take a step back and say, you know what, I enjoyed the ride. It was fun. It was a solid movie. Like, you know, just a really kind of well made action flick. You know, and
oh man. The actress is exiled from Iran. She can't go back to Iran.
Really?
Apparently she posed nude for a photo shoot and they won't let her back. God, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Jesus. Anyways, hats off to her. She's awesome.
Yeah,
we like you over here. You just stay over here. Or wherever you're at, I guess. You can cut
she
that
currently
bit out.
resides in France. So
France is
the French are much more liberal about nudity, so she's probably doing okay there.
True.
Recommendation? We'll do the TV scale again, transposing that onto films. So very yes, totally fine, shithouse being your 5 tiers you're eligible to choose from.
I'd say it's total. No, I'd say it's yes.
Okay,
it's totally a yes.
It's totally a yes.
If it's very good into the yes mold, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I was expecting it to be kind of a totally fine thing walking in, but it won me over. I got to say, by the end, it was. Like I said, it was pretty well done. So I'm with you. The story holds it back from being anything more than a yes. But
correct.
You know, you walk in.
Film.
It's a shadow film, absolutely. You expect action, some good performances. You know, prepare yourself for some violence, some bloody things here and there. It's good. You know, it's going to hit that mark, I think. You know, definitely Man on Fire was a really good comparison. It's that, but with an Australian man.
As Sarah said, it has a very attractive male lead.
True.
Chris Hemsworth looks
one of the many Chris's in Hollywood.
Yep. And he looks good. And she says he is a BA. That's what she said. Quote unquote. He is totally a BA. She fell asleep at the latter portion of this movie, but she did say he's a BA. He looks good, and she's happy that he did not kill the kids. She thought he killed the kids, and she would totally dismiss this movie. She didn't like it. I said, he didn't kill the kids. He just beat the shit out of them. They were trying to kill him, so he just beat the shit out of them. But he didn't kill any kids.
It's true.
And she goes, oh, okay. Well, then it's totally good, then. I totally had fun. I said, okay.
Yeah. He just whacked him across the head a few times. No big deal. Punted him across an alleyway or whatever.
He grabbed one of them by the leg and slammed him into the car. That was funny.
Just ragdoll him around everywhere.
That's exactly what he did. I couldn't help but start laughing my ass off when the gang of kids came.
This is a mild spoiler, but I'm pretty sure there's one part where he picks up like an adult-sized soldier and just either whips him around and he like kicks another guy in the head or something like that. I forget if the soldier that he's picking up kicks him or like whacks him with the other head, but like I don't know. It was over the top, but it was hilarious to me. I loved it.
It was good. spoilers. Moving into spoilers. What do you got for spoilers?
So recommendation, yes. Full spoilers for Extraction. Well, what is there to talk about? Is he dead or not? What's going on there? I don't know. Did you have anything else in mind? I don't know. I was just jumping to something that came to mind.
I tell you what I would have liked to see. That fat fuck that kept throwing kids off the roof.
Yeah, that guy should. I tell you what. Well, so okay, that's kind of an interesting thing. All right, so that is fat Indian Michael Madsen. I have now set on the record. Because come on, look at that guy. Come on, it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I think I'm picking up my mic.
Yeah, I was kind of. I guess I expected, because it was such a generic movie, that it would eventually just be a mano-a-mano kind of thing between Hemsworth and the other dude, which like Hemsworth is like twice that guy's size. He's gonna fuck his ass up, But he'd have henchmen and whatever to kind of bolster him, and it'd be okay or whatever. But the movie, it didn't go in that direction. I was kind of a little bit surprised by that, in the sense that there's that bridge sequence, and like the bridge sequence is kind of it for most of the characters, and it's basically over at that point. And I almost thought that like, oh, are they like setting up a sequel where like the bad guy's gonna, get, he's gonna get away, at this point, and
they took care of that though, didn't they?
Well, I was gonna say, is he gonna go after this kid again, in Extraction 2? But yeah, there's just kind of the little coda at the end of, badass Nick going after him, and looking good in that dress, I will say, and just
she's pretty cool, man.
Dude, just wasting the dude. So yeah, it was. I said it just kind of it went away from that kind of obvious, like, even John Wick did it, of like the main bad guy eventually got into a fist fight with John Wick by the end, and that didn't happen here. And so I just kind of found it interesting that they didn't go in that direction, but they still kind of looped their way back to like, we still got to kill this guy. We got to close that loop. This guy's a piece of shit that cuts, that wants fingers cut off kids and has fat Indian Michael Madsen throw kids off the roof and everything like that.
Yeah. Close the book on him. And who more fitting to close the book than her? Mm-hmm. She was quite awesome. I thought she was quite awesome throughout the movie. I thought she was quite awesome when she picked up Chris Hemsworth in the fucking outback in the helicopter. Felt very James Bond, or not James Bond, but Mission Impossible 2-esque.
Yeah, Mission Impossible 2-esque. Well, she didn't have a... if only Chris Hemsworth had a scarf to pull her in, Dougray Scott style, it would have been perfection, of course.
In slow motion.
In slow motion. Some doves flying around, probably. Yeah, she was cool. I liked when she sniped the fucking colonel.
Yeah.
That was... Yeah.
I like when she quit fucking around with the helicopter. She walked out with that bazooka and just shot the bazooka.
That's true. Yeah, the bazooka. That was There's some things blowing up in this one. Some grenades being thrown. Yes.
They use grenades a lot in this movie. It was really cool. It was, but it was tastefully done. It's not like stupid explosions.
Yeah, and I felt like even like for the most part, I think there's one time where like the Chris Hemsworth and the kid, they jump out of the car and then the car like turns into a fiery ball.
Yeah, that was.
But it was a little over the top. But I felt like for the most part, like everything wasn't so over the top.
Right.
Like there's even the one point where like they shoot a rocket launcher at Hemsworth when he's up in the building, like shooting down at them. And like in most movies that levels the entire building, and that it like blew up some windows and like kind of rocked him a little bit, but it wasn't like this so over the top thing that like the way that most movies do it. And I felt like a lot of the movie was kind of restrained in the sense like, grenades had kind of a a little bit of limited kind of radius to them, and
it was more
fucked
so
up
for
people
like
in the immediate vicinity, but
right. More so for like just obscuring views and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I really enjoyed that first introduction to the guy that was trying to secure the son because he couldn't pay for the hit squad. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where he kind of looked like that Black Widow character. The guy that's in the
Taskmaster?
Yeah, it kind of looked like Taskmaster running around.
Yeah,
the woods
he was in the
stuff.
bottom of the he was in the boat. Taking out the Hemsworth's team. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. And he's running away from him in the forest. You're like, holy shit, what's happening? He chases them all the way into the city, and now we're talking about a one take. He's fucking car chasing, and the cops are after him, and he goes up into the roof. Oh, and then you have the John Wick body armor There is nothing cooler than people in body armor facing a dude with a pistol with no body armor. He's sitting there shooting him, pa 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 pa, and nothing happens. He's got to like pick their head up and shoot them in the neck between their head and it gets really fucking visceral when you're trying to fight somebody with body armor. You're just shooting them a bunch. They're not going down. I get real excited in these movies. It was quite an experience. I had fun.
Well, that whole oneer was just cool. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, he threw the kid off the roof and chased him down, and then they fell off the roof, and holy shit, they got hit by the car.
Got hit by they both get hit by cars at one point.
Yeah, well, one guy got hit by a bus. Chris hits him with a bus.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, that whole thing was cool. The one I talked about it when we talked about the trailer, but I'm going to say it again just for the record. The transitions between like kind of going in and out of the vehicles like as part of the oneer was just cool. And like even once they were in it, like there was a lot of just kind of chaotic like driving while they're inside the car.
Yeah,
whip pan to like the rear mirror, rear windshield, and like kind of like, oh shit, there's a car coming up, there's a police car coming up, shoot a few people, whip it back around, like characters reacting and civilians in front of the car being like, oh fuck, like and like a lot of that, and it was kinetic, it was tense. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It was cool.
It was cool, definitely cool. I did enjoy how both Chris Hemsworth and the other guy got super fucked up by that. And like for the rest of the movie, they're both fucked up. And like,
they both got hit by cars.
Well, like Hemsworth is in the sling for half the movie after that, and like, he's still a little bit Superman-esque and stuff like that. But like, he's like, there's some visible damage. And like, he's a little bit messed up. He takes some painkillers and drinks some scotch or whatever. And he's close to good as new or whatever. But like, the other guy, his fucking nose is all broken and shit. And like, he's just bloody all the time. And like, even when he kind of concealed himself and he was like walking with the kid, like kind of escorting him, like, it was just like, why isn't anyone stopping this guy because of how fucked up he looks? You know what I mean? Just like, he's just so bloody and bruised and battered looking. Like, that's just inherently suspicious, but.
Yeah, and it's true. It carried over.
It was good. Like they weren't so invulnerable that like it was so unrealistic about everything. Like, like they took some punishment, probably more than most people would. But maybe adrenaline's a hell of a thing.
That's true. So that's true. I mean, even the one guy called his family because he thought it was it, and it ultimately was it.
It was it. Yeah. I didn't think he was going to go back home, but yeah, I was still kind of like, oh damn, that guy was cool.
That guy was cool. I thought he was going to make it. And so that brings us to the last bit there. So
which is the first thing that I brought up because I was just like, what do we talk about? Does Hemsworth make it out alive? Ambiguous, I think. At least the ending seems to point to.
It was pretty blurry.
It's very blurry. I don't think it's definitively anyone. I almost feel like it's blurry because it's just like, are we going to make a sequel or not? That will determine the answer to this question in a way. But, I mean, so Hemsworth gets shot by the one, the finger kid who wants to shoot Hemsworth because, he
made him look like a fool.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Made him look like a big dumb. Yeah, exactly. He gets shot, I think, in the neck, right? Is that right? He gets shot in the neck?
Yeah, uh-huh.
And it's probably not good for you. It's probably not good for you to fall into a river. Although we have seen him plunge into depths from much higher than that, or at least as high as that earlier in the film.
That's true.
So I don't know. I mean, what's your take on it? Would you? What do you think?
I think it just depends on the viewership of this movie, I guess, because
it does really feel like it's like we'll see.
I mean,
I think it's good enough if it leaves it at this, in the sense that interpret it as you will. We don't need to provide a definitive answer. He's probably dead, but the kid's obviously haunted by his experiences. Some serious trauma to go through. Dude, the kid actually he killed David Harbour. Wouldn't even talk about that. Holy shit.
Yeah, he did. He shot David Harbour. Yeah,
David Harbour was an asshole. So
nobody bothered to shoot him again. I kind of felt that was a little cruel. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I shot somebody, rather than watch them like fucking suffocate because you shot him in a lung, just fucking shoot him one more time instead of watching him suffocate on himself.
He's like he was an asshole, but like clearly he and and Chris Hemsworth had a past, so it's kind of just be like, you just talked about killing a kid and shooting him in the head being a mercy. Like, I guess you could
show him the mercy,
afford him that one thing, yeah.
Right.
But
yeah,
also
just,
fuck that guy.
Him and the kid just sat there and just watched the guy fucking bleed
just
out
like,
and breathe.
Holy shit! Whoa. Yeah.
But that's that,
So. But yeah. So anyway, the kid's obviously traumatized, so he could just be seeing things, or maybe it's just a white guy, and he's just like, every white guy is Chris Hemsworth. Oh wait, it's not. I don't know.
No,
we'll see.
Trust us,
we'll see.
Not.
Just ask any woman on the street; they'll tell you. Really, any man. Really, just anyone. Really
just ask anyone. We're not all Chris Hemsworth.
We all wish we were, but we're not.
That's it.
So yes, the answer is he dead? Maybe. We'll find out in a couple of years if Extraction 2 comes along.
That's it. Maybe the other Russo brother will write another one.
Anyways, I think that about does it for our discussion of Extraction. What do you think?
That does it, man. That's it. Totally.
All right. So I know that there's been some things that you've kind of alluded to throughout the episode, but what have you been up to recently? Watching, playing, doing?
So I've designed a wooden table and a wooden bench that I'm going to make with my hands. So I've been watching a lot of woodworking videos.
Right. Okay.
So the shiplap on the wall, fun fact, I actually made that. I made those joints in the wood. I actually took regular planks of wood and made the shiplap and hung it. And it created with Steven's table saw. So I don't know. I just kind of got the bug now, and quite honestly, there's not a lot going on because of quarantine. So I got
a fever.
That's it.
And the only prescription is more woodworking.
That's it. So Sarah's and I've been I admittedly wanted I've been looking for a table and a thing there. Put there for quite some time. So the only thing that I think that'll fit is something that I can custom make. And so I've designed something to custom make and put in there. I just have to build it and get the tools and the materials required. But I'm going to make a booth with storage underneath and a table, which is cool.
I saw some specs that looked like some Tony Stark shit going on over there.
Yeah, the on the tablet and the blueprints and shit.
Yeah.
So I had to use a program called Sketcher, which is like a CAD program. Like you can use it for 3D printing and stuff, and just like design the length and the width and kind of document what I wanted to do. I'm not a pro at that program by any stretch, but I did learn it enough to kind of put together a table, which is cool. What else have I been up to? I recently watched Fallout. To be fair, disclaimer, we did a painting with a twist with Sarah's family over Zoom at the house.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And her dad came over, and we ordered pizza and wings, and we ate pizza and wings, and Sarah and her mom and her brother and I, we sat in the dining room, and we did the painting with a twist thing. She put the YouTube over the Zoom, and then we all got on the same channel and painted it together. It was pretty fun over the YouTubes. And then her dad was in there watching Fallout, and so I caught the beginning of Fallout. I caught the bathroom fight scene, which is like one of my favorites. Yeah, right. And
I just reloaded my fists for the
it was
listener.
So badass. And then I caught the end when they're defusing the bombs. I didn't totally rewatch it, but I rewatched enough. I also
enough to get a sense of it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally awesome movie, man. Really,
it's so cool. Anna hasn't seen any of the Mission Impossibles, so we're gonna go through them.
What? None of them. None of them.
None of them. Not even two. The best of them all.
Oh boy, she's in for a treat.
I think so. I'm excited. I mean, like we were watching them all because we did our bonus episode before Fallout came, and I'm like, that wasn't that long ago. I guess it's probably over a year ago now. Even I don't even know. Whatever that was, last year. Fuck, yeah. I honestly don't remember. But like, I'm like, yeah,
ready to rewatch the Mission Impossible.
I'm game to go all of them.
That's what I was telling Sarah's dad.
Even two all fired up.
I told Sarah's dad, it's like, hey, I love Mission Impossible. Like, I grew up watching Mission Impossible. Second song I learned on my bass guitar was the Mission Impossible theme song. Like, I'm all about Mission Impossible and some Tom Cruise action. So, yeah, some of them are a little stupid, but they're always
it's really only just one. Really only just one that's really stupid.
They're always a lot of fun, though. All of them.
Yeah. Two is fun in spite of its badness. Absolutely.
So yeah, no. I am envious of Anna's first experiencing Anna's first experience with not Tom Cruise, but with Mission Impossible. On Kelly's recommendation, Sarah's dad, I rented Top Gun, but I think my rental is expired, and I didn't get to watch more than 15 minutes of it, which is kind of shitty.
I was gonna say, if you hadn't started it, then it usually lasts for 30 days. Once you start it, that timer starts. So
well, he finished Top Gun, and to be frank, I was a bottle of wine in. It's like, oh, let's just watch another movie. And so I started Top Gun. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to take everybody home. I'm like, oh, shit. And so I turned it off and I fell asleep and I didn't watch it. So, but I watched the first 15 minutes and it was pretty badass. But anyways, what else have I been up to here? Clone Wars. I thought I was at the season finale, but I guess I wasn't. I was on part 2 of whatever. I think it's called the Phantom Apprentice, I think is part 2.
Yes, Phantom Apprentice, I think that's the latest episode. That sounds right.
Yeah, so I thought that was it, but apparently it's not. Totally blown away by part 1, part 2 of this season.
Boy, do I have news for you.
What's that?
There are 2 more episodes.
2 more? Holy shit! No way!
May 1st. And then the final one will go up May 4th.
Do they have titles to these?
They just compressed it. Shattered, episode 11. Victory and Death, episode 12.
Oh, man. Yes, very excite. Very, very excite for the rest of this. Because I thought this was it. And now there's more. It ended with such a crescendo, this last one. I was pretty peaked already. So, yeah, excited to see what comes next. I've been playing a game. It's been very, very, very slow at work. I've been a little stressed about income and everything else. But we did file for the PPP. I went through that application process for multiple businesses, got everybody a paycheck, which is nice.
Good.
But I've been spending my time, aside from watching woodworking videos, I've been playing these puzzle games on my iPad called The Room. They're by Fireproof Games. I highly recommend them if you're into like Myst-esque games or puzzle games.
Oh, I see. Yeah, cool.
They're or if you're like into Hellraiser and you just like puzzle boxes, because the whole premise is like these small miniature things that you interact with, and it's just really cool. There's like a Lovecraftian like nature to the story of the game, which is pretty neat, and why you're doing what you're doing. I had previously played through, I think, like 1 through 3, and I picked up the last 2 that came out or something like that. I played through 2 in the past couple weeks, and it's been pretty fun. But now there's no more left, so I beat both of them. Both of them are pretty good. I think the Room Part 3 or Room Part 4, and then Original Sins, I think, is what the second one's called, or something like that. It's pretty cool. And I think that's it.
Cool.
I think that's it. What have you been up to? Oh no! I got a fucking puppy, dude.
You talked about little Teddy a little bit last episode, to be fair. But how's Teddy doing? Give us a Teddy update. Teddy
update. Teddy weighs. He weighed 18 pounds at 8 weeks. He's now 9 weeks, and I haven't reweighed him, so I don't know what he's going to weigh now. But 18 pounds at 8 weeks is pretty fucking big. I think it seems pretty large for a puppy.
Well, I think you said he's going to be a big boy, right?
Yeah, he's going to be a big boy, I think. What else do we got? Oh, we went on our first walk on a leash today. And he was good. He walked right next to me. He's a very good boy. Sometimes he's a little stubborn, doesn't want to listen, but he is super animated. Like, for the most part, I really feel like he's only made like 2 accidents since we had him. Like, I really feel like he's really taken to the potty training. And today when I came home, I took him out, and he went bathroom number 1 and 2, no problem. But Sarah and I started working out tonight because, it's just we need to get back in shape. We started the year off well, and tonight was our first night we started working out again. So we were about to start working out, and he came up next to me, just looked at me, and just a little dribble. So I nipped in the bud, give him a little pat on the butt and take him outside. When I took him outside, I closed the sliding glass door. I left him outside by himself, and I went and cleaned it up, and I came back, and I let him in, and he was really pouty. He was super animated about it, he's just like a little fucking person. Like, he went over and just sat in a corner and sat in the corner where he couldn't face anybody and just sat and faced the wall, just pout.
He's in timeout. Self-imposed timeout.
couldn't help but laugh about it. And then we worked out and we went for a walk, and he walked around the neighborhood. He's a good little dog, dude. He's a good little dog. He's got really sharp little needly teeth. And he likes to bite shit. So, trying to teach him not to just bite his toys and not bite people. And he doesn't really gnaw on furniture or anything, but he'll certainly bite you, nip at you and stuff. So, yeah, just puppy stuff. Yeah, but he's a good little boy. Good little boy. Good little boy named Teddy. Yep. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I got, dude.
Alrighty. Well, just me this time. No Anna. But maybe she'll be back. We watched Aladdin, the 2019 one, on Disney Plus, where it is now streaming. And first time she'd watched it, obviously I had seen it. We covered it for the podcast. It still fucking is pretty solid, dude. Like,
enjoyed it. Huh?
And I think that we at least. I think we had a mutual agreement that it was the most surprising film of 2019, and
that's true.
I stand by it. Like, it's just a totally solid, enjoyable adaptation of the cartoon, which is better. You know what I mean? But like,
it's a movie you thought was going to be shit.
In spite of everything working against it, like, the genie design is still horrendous. And I don't know. Like, it's just it's a colorful, well-made, kind of flick with, like, Will Smith doing his own thing, in spite of the design. Like, him doing his own thing is cool. It's fun. It's enjoyable. The songs are still good. The new song that they added for Jasmine is pretty cool. Jasmine herself is pretty cool.
Totally a princess.
We both enjoyed it. She enjoyed it too, and so I kind of felt a little bit validated. And I'm just like, yeah, like, fucking Guy Ritchie somehow delivering the best live-action Disney, cartoon adaptation for 2019. The fuck, Johnny V? The fuck?
Yeah. In spite of everything that Lion King had going for it.
Like, again, The Lion King is fine for what it is, in the sense that it is exactly what the cartoon was, just an inferior version. But, like, this is different. It could change things. Iago isn't Gilbert Gottfried or anything like that. Jafar fucking is still horrendous. He's so bad. Absolutely the worst part of it. But, like, in spite of the bad and the things that were changed, like, it's different enough that it stands on its own. Again, it's not better, but it totally stands on its own. And, like, that's kind of a respectable thing, I think. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Other than that, we are halfway-ish through season 3 of New Girl, which is taking a little bit of a dip, I think. Like, it feels like they're flanderizing some of the characters, but I hope it's just kind of an early season thing, and once it kind of picks up steam, that it'll kind of get the characters out of the rut and be a little bit better. But noticeably worse than season 2. Still fun, still enjoyable, a fun kind of sitcom type thing, but I just feel like the writing's taken a little bit of a dip so far, which has been disappointing. And then everything else is it's on the video game front. So I did start Star Wars Jedi.
Oh,
Fallen
shit!
Order.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Been sitting on the damn thing for months now. I bought it I think I got it for like $30 towards the end of, maybe a couple months ago, something like that. I'm not super far into it. I did the intro. I did the first planet that you go to. Forget what it's called. Where you go to the temple or whatever. And then I went to Dathomir. I'm on Dathomir now.
You won't get very far on that one.
Yeah, there's obviously like kind of designed roadblocks for certain things, but I'm not super far. I mean, the mechanics seem pretty cool. I was surprised at how Dark Souls-esque type some of the combat was. For some of it, but it's enjoyable. It seems like it's kind of a hodgepodge of a few different games kind of thrown into one, but it's fun, and it's Star Wars. Looks nice, plays well, satisfying. I thought I was going to do a Jedi Outcast thing and like not let you use the lightsaber for like 5 hours of the game, but you get it pretty quickly, which was nice. Yeah. And I think the Force, I guess you get the progression of unlocking certain Force powers. I just got the wall jump thing, which is very Titanfall respawn-esque, which is cool. You know, there's a lot kind of going on to it. I probably won't have a chance to play too much of it in the imminent future. Just
That's the thing that sucks about this game.
With the PS4, but
yeah, like I'm still trying to progress through the game. Like I totally love it. It's just, and it kind of sucks because the combat's so tight, and the combat requires a little bit of finesse. That every time, I return to the game after like 2 or 3 weeks, like I
you
suck
take a couple weeks off, you come back and you're terrible.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
I get that definitely.
But it's always in the back of my brain, like, hey, I want to go back and play this game. It's just
it's a cool game.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's more expansive than I thought it was going to be. Like I guess assumed it was going to be a pretty linear storytelling kind of experience, but I'm surprised by how open the worlds are. You know, it's a limited open world. It's not fully open world, but like, you know, the planet hopping and stuff, like, I don't know, there's just more to it than I thought there was going to be walking in. So I think that's kind of cool, but it's a little overwhelming at times too. So it kind of has its drawbacks as well. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm not super far into it.
Do you have a boo, 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 boo?
No, I don't think I have blah, 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 blah. Is that the double?
Yeah, you need to stay on Dathomir.
Yeah, I've heard about that, so I haven't gotten that far yet, but I have heard about that, yeah. So yeah, I'll play it when I get a chance to, but like I said, I probably won't be near my PS4 for a little while, so
why not?
Unfortunately.
Why aren't you going to be next to the PS4, man?
I will be away from home for a little bit of time, shall we say. But that's okay. I'll have my Switch with me, and I'll have other things to entertain me, like Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yeah,
so Animal Crossing.
Well, you know, things are going well, obviously. Island is thriving. It's a 3-star rating. I got KK Slider to come out and perform a concert for the townsfolk. Which I guess is kind of the pseudo end of the game because the credits started rolling when he did that. But
what?
Like, you know, it's, you know, you still have many things you can do.
There's an end to Animal Crossing?
I think it's like the end of the scripted events type thing of like, you know, Tom Nook is like, why don't you do this? Well, why don't you do that once you're done with that? Like, I think like now at the point, it's pretty much just like play at your own leisure and don't worry about working towards any specific game designed goal. It's pretty much just like make your own goal and work towards it. So you unlock terraforming your island when you get to that point. So I can construct cliffs, I can construct rivers or change the design and layout of things. I haven't done too much with that, but it's cool. You know, it's just kind of a neat kind of option. It's a little cumbersome. Oh, also you can build paths. So I built like a brick path in front of my home that connects to a nice brick bridge. Building another brick bridge that'll also connect to. You know, it's just a lot of cool stuff going on. Don't even worry about it.
What fuels the terraforming?
Just...
Like you just hop in there in terraforming mode and start drawing around your shit?
So you actually do it as your character. So you just have like a shovel and you just like, I'm building a river here, building a river here. I'm going to build a cliff here. Let me stack some dirt and make this giant cliff. Yeah, it's you know, it's a little goofy, but
that's pretty cool.
It's Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Timmy and Tommy expanded their shop, so I got a renovated shop to buy from, which is nice. They added a free update for everyone. So they added a museum expansion, so you can now add art to there's an art gallery section of the museum, and so you can buy art now from Red. And they added Leaf, who sells shrubs. You can buy shrubs and decorate, you know, the island with shrubs and stuff now. And they're doing some events. There's like a nature day thing.
Oh,
like
fuck. It sounds like such a pleasant experience. God damn it.
It's so pleasant. I seriously, Nintendo could not have generated a more perfect time to launch Animal Crossing than now. Like it is literally just, it's the perfect circumstance for them. I think they said, I think I read somewhere it did like 5 million like digital sales, which was like a record for like something like that. I don't know.
Jeez.
I'm just like, it makes perfect sense because like this game is like transcending things. Like obviously like Nintendo always has that kind of crossover appeal to non-gamers for the most part. Like Wii was kind of what did that, and Switch is I think kind of capture that same sort of magic. And like Animal Crossing is just such a relaxing and simple and intuitive game that I think people that don't consider themselves hardcore gamers still can find so much enjoyment in Animal Crossing. You know, so it's really just the perfect storm for them. And I love it. even as I don't want to proclaim myself as a hardcore gamer because I think that's a dumb label, but I've played video games all my life. I play a wide range of genres and stuff like that, but Animal Crossing is really just hitting it for me right now. But it's good. It's really good. Highly recommend it. As always, I also have been playing, and you mentioned working out. I've been doing a little bit of working out via the Nintendo Switch through a game called Ring Fit Adventure. Do you know anything about this?
Have you got a Ring Fit?
Hell yeah. I got Ring Fit. Do you know about the Ring Fit?
I just know about what the accessory looks like. It's just a big ring. I don't know anything else about it.
It's a big ring, so it's got like tension. It's like designed with tension. So if you press in, then it kind of tenses up. You can pull out on it too. It actually works really well. You slide your Joy-Con into it. You have like a leg strap that you put your other Joy-Con into. You strap that around your leg, and it tracks like you're running, and like kind of basically it tracks your leg because there's certain like just leg workouts that it does. It's literally an RPG plus a fitness game just rolled into one package. And this game has been sold out for months. I think there's been production shortages that have affected that. But I found it used on Reset Era for a pretty good price because this thing's going for it retails for $80. It's going for $250 plus on eBay. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So and it's just like everyone's stuck indoors. So if you don't have workout equipment like me, it's kind of an easy way to I can do this. Of course you can just kind of do your own thing, but it's perfect for me because I don't work out very often, which is to say I don't really work out at all. And it kind of melds, it's literal fucking exercise. It's flat out exercise. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just straight up exercise. It has you do squats. It has you do tons of different exercises, and you lock more exercises as you go through, but it just melds it with an RPG where you go through levels. You run through, you literally run, you run in place through a map. And then you get to a point where you have random enemy encounters, and the way to fight the enemies is to do a set of whatever exercise you want to do. So, you do 25 squats and it takes off a quarter of the enemy's life bar, and then you switch to another one where you're doing stuff with a ring, where you're squeezing it in and out above your head, different sets and stuff like that. So it's full on workouts. And for someone like me that's really out of shape, I would say overall, you kind of modify it to be kind of to your limits. It's not designed to break your body or anything like that, but
right.
You can kind of set it to kind of what you want it to be, and it's just kind of it's good for me because it keeps me active in a way. Anna's gotten in on it too. She set up her own profile on my Switch, and she's been doing it too. So it's been good because it's just a way to kind of
stay active,
be a little bit active, especially now when you're basically stuck indoors almost 24/7. So it's been pretty fun. It's been a pretty good addition to my life, and I've tried to keep at it as regularly as possible. I found that kind of 2 days in a row is my limit. By the third day when I wake up, I'm so sore that I'm just I can't do it again. So I've been taking days off kind of in between, but
right.
That's no different than any other real exercise, right? It's
that's true.
You can't work out 7 days in a row. Maybe you can if you're equipped for it, but
yeah, no, none of us are equipped for it.
So yeah, I kind of, when Nintendo announced it, I was like, that's dumb. I don't care anything about it. And I kind of wish I had bought it at launch because then it would have cost me less money and I would have had a new version of it. But I said, I got it for a pretty good deal that was basically just a little bit above retail and shipping. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the purchase. I think I'm going to get a lot of mileage out of it,
Sounds like it.
So
Sarah and I do the Beachbody on demand. Maybe
I'll get a little swole too. Who's to say?
We started the year off on Lift 4, I think. We went into Walmart and bought a bunch of dumbbells and stuff and converted one of the rooms into an art gallery / workout room.
Yeah, that's nice. That's cool.
And so after we went to Blue Ridge, after, I don't know, we went up north in February, the end of February, and then we just kind of dropped off and stopped working out and eating good. So now... I went and weighed myself with the dog and everything else. I've gained 15 pounds since fucking quarantine, not doing shit. And that's a problem. So tonight was the first night of starting over in that program and going back to it. So maybe we can start losing a little bit of weight again. It gains quick. We're getting old, dude. And fucking pounds. I don't know if you gain the weight like it doesn't take long to fucking gain some weight.
Well, I'm not as skinny as I once was. I'm still in okay shape. I certainly won't complain, but it's nice to tighten up a little bit, certainly. So yeah. I feel you. That's it for me. Yeah, I'm gonna start grinding out. I think a little bit more Clone Wars coming up. Try to get up to the new season as kind of fast as I can. Westworld, I'm pretty behind on, so I'll probably watch some more of that before long. And I don't know what else. Maybe Hollywood. Maybe check out Hollywood. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to being done with this exam, or not this exam. God, this semester. This semester. It's just been long, and it's just. I attended Temple for half the semester, and I attended the Zoom School of Law for the other half of the semester. So it's just been, it's just been an awkward semester, and it's hard to, it's just hard to motivate yourself at home.
It is.
I struggle with it. I have so many distractions around me. It's just hard to really stay engaged. Like even doing an exam at home, it's just weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I hear you for sure. It's hard to motivate yourself to go to work every day knowing you're not going to talk to anybody.
It's just tough. And there's obviously just a lot of external circumstances, which, makes the little things in life seem fucking inconsequential. But, I try not to focus too much on the broad, reality that our country is in. But it's
hard not to, dude.
You make do. So yeah.
And it can always be worse too. You just find solace in the fact that it could be so much worse.
It could be worse, although it could be a lot better too. So, like I said, I think that cuts both ways.
It does cut both ways. Never thought about that. It could just be a lot better.
Yeah, we could have prepared for something that Contagion predicted 10 years ago, but why would we do that? Anyway, I think that's it for this episode.
That's it.
Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. Patreon, God, I feel bad, but again, circumstances. I try not to be too hard on myself because, I feel like we've done a pretty good job. Not to pat ourselves on the back, but I feel like we've done a decent job of adjusting to kind of craziness and trying to still keep content out regularly. But I do feel bad about not really having stuff for our Patreon supporters right now. So I think hopefully we can try to cull some ideas for some bonus episodes. I guess we talked about the Lord of the Rings one, but I don't know if we'll be able to do that in the near future. A lot of content, obviously. So hopefully we can get a bonus episode kind of cooked up for our Patreon supporters. Otherwise, our Patreon is watchreviewrepeat.com/premium. Just click the become a patron button there, or head to patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. Hopefully, we'll have a bonus episode coming up. Otherwise, all of our regular episodes go up early on Patreon, so if you want to be the first to listen to anything that we do, that is the way to do it. $2 a month, so we're trying not to ask for a whole lot from anyone. Just kind of a way, if you enjoy the podcast, to support us financially ever so slightly. And we appreciate it. It's gone to past purchases of extra microphones, equipment costs, stuff like that. Helps us with hosting costs. So it's not about making a profit. It's just about helping us cover a little bit of costs. So that's my very, very impassioned plea. If anyone's interested. Our website, watchreviewrepeat.com, has everything you will probably need on there, including links to our social media accounts. We are on Twitter at WRRPod. We are on Facebook, Watch Review Repeat. You just want to search for that. Questions, comments, suggestions. The listener's corner is still empty. Come on. People are doing things. I know people are listening to this podcast. At the very least, they're downloading it. I can see it. I have the receipts. So if you have made it this far in the episode, so people are tuning out. They're like, oh, they're doing the outro. I'm out. If you are listening to this, if you are listening to the same spiel that I give on every episode, please, 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 questions, comments, suggestions, whatever you have been up to. If you're watching stuff, playing games, whatever, we want to hear about it. How are you guys doing? Are you holding up, in these times? Let us know, just keep in touch. If you have ideas for things that we should cover for a bonus episode or a regular episode or anything, watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. Seriously. Be happy to take a look at anything anyone sends our way. Our intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Our next episode, I think we can probably, at this point, just say is to be determined. But we have options. Hollywood is a maybe. Westworld could be another one. If there's another thing that pops up that our listeners think might be worth covering, let us know. So I guess just stay tuned on that front, and we'll have something for you sooner rather than later, hopefully. So we will catch you then. Andrew?
Ladies on the Minjay. Oh, I switched it up. What do you think about that?
I was going to do your part. I wasn't going to question you on it, but you can do it now.
Take care now. Bye then.
Laters on the Minjay.